Man, rubies are dumb.
Oh, how the tables have tabled. Steven Universe, episode 123, Room for Ruby. I loved this episode. I didn't love the Crystal Gems in this episode, but this episode as a whole was pretty great. It was a step up from Rock Naruto and an improvement from Tiger Philanthropist, and it was relevant to the overarching story. This episode was brilliant, but let me tell you why it was brilliant. I was gonna make a video called 5 Ways to Fix Lapis Lazuli. 1, because I've been sitting on that for a while, and 2, as a response to Slice of Otaku's video, Everything Wrong with Lapis, which is honestly a really great video. You guys need to check it out when you guys can. I'll link it in the description. And this episode gave me a better understanding of Lapis before I make that video, so really good timing. And I don't think anyone really expected this to be a Lapis episode going in. I definitely feel for Lapis in this episode. It's difficult having to learn how to love a planet where so many horrible things happen to you on. Being stuck in a mirror for thousands of years, being viewed as a traitor against your own homeworld. And then when you're finally free, you go back to said homeworld and you're just treated as a traitor, a refugee. Even though this time you can tell them what happened, but they just continue to use you for information. So then you return to this planet, and when you want to be used again for a fusion and finally have your breaking point, trapping Jasper in the relationship that was Malachite, which did a number on both of them, then finally being forced apart from all of that. And the only place you have left to go is that planet? And having it be kind to you after being so awful for literal thousands of years? Yeah, that's an adjustment period. And that's why I really enjoyed this episode. That's a perspective of Lapis that they haven't really touched on. If I have any kind of gripes with this episode, it would be, why wait until now to say it? On one hand, I get it. It's supposed to show that so much time has passed, she still hasn't completely accepted Earth as her new home, as a place that she wants to live on, a place where she wants to be by her own choice, because that is a difficult choice to make. On the other hand, you should have reestablished that Lapis isn't okay a long time ago. It would have justified her sporadic behavior. Sure, some fans got it. I've seen a lot of fans saying this exact same thing when Lapis was being critiqued throughout her last few appearances. However, the fans of the show should have to justify what the crew of the show does with the character. Granted, I should have waited for the Crewniverse to actually tell this story before making any final judgments on Lapis, but she's my favorite gem, and even now, I feel like the Crewniverse needs to treat her a little bit better and utilize her more. This episode could have still happened at this point, but this story for Lapis should have been introduced a long time ago. After Alone at Sea, it felt like her problems just disappeared. That's what I had a problem with. But as long as they continue to explore Lapis, I'm a happy camper. As for Navy, 1, I'm convinced that Homeworld knows about Rose's location, the temple, that was her publicly known base of operations during the war, because it's not a coincidence that Navy landed there, that the Red Eye came there, that Jasper landed there. Also, notice how when Steven was listing off all the things they did to the rubies, and when Steven references Amethyst pretending to be Jasper, Navy says, I gotta admit, that was pretty clever. Navy was giving mad props to Amethyst, and the writing was on the wall for a betrayal the entire episode. But this is what I loved about the rubies. They're the most cunning and menacing antagonists the Crystal Gems have ever faced so far in the series, yet look at them. They don't look like they would have been much of a threat, and at first they weren't. Navy's a sociopath. Eyeball is a war veteran with PTSD. It's safe to assume all the other rubies are messed up in some sort of capacity. Besides maybe Leggy, maybe she is just clueless, but I have a theory. Not much of a theory, more speculation, but I believe the specific Ruby squad is notable among the other rubies. They're the elites when it comes to the rubies, and that's why they were sent to Earth. Especially when we look at the other rubies in the answer, they all seem way too unique. Not even the Famethys have that much differentiation between their designs. These rubies were chosen for the Earth mission for a very specific purpose, because Yellow had a hunch they could get work done. And I gotta give them props. They were deceived twice already, but they still see through their mission. So even though Navy, the crazy bitch, got away with her ship, there's a good chance that they're coming back to Earth and asking once again, where is Jasper? No more games, no more deception. I'm just curious if they're gonna go back to Homeworld or not. We were led to believe the rubies were dumb, but if this episode is anything to go by, I do consider them a pretty big threat. And they may know if they go to Homeworld without Jasper and informing the Diamonds that they were deceived twice, they might get shattered, they might get punished in some sort of capacity. When I posted that video last night, I was under the impression that they might just go straight to Homeworld, but now I'm thinking they may not want to return without Jasper at their side. A lot of people were using the argument that Steven Universe needs to paint the moral everyone can't change for why Jasper shouldn't be redeemed, but I think the Rubies are going to tell that story that not everybody can change. At the same time, they established a relationship between Jasper and the Rubies for a reason. And I do think Jasper's going to be redeemed, it's just going to take a long time. Do I think she'll become a Crystal Gem? No. Do I think she's going to oppose Homeworld? Maybe. I think it honestly boils down to how keen she is on corruption. I feel like she's going to be angry about that, like in all honesty. The art in this episode could have been better. Everyone was drawn different like 3 times. It was the first time Lauren and Raven worked together, and I think they actually make a pretty good duo. Their comedic timing was great, and now that we know that Lauren is leaving the show through her Tumblr, she says she only has like 4 or 5 episodes left to air. I wish her the best, and I'm really excited to see what her last few episodes bring. Overall, pretty solid episode. Before we end this video, I wanted to talk to you guys about something. My friend Clint, who runs the Rise and Fall of Nickelodeon, needs help. Him and his family are going through a lot right now, and it's gotten to the point where their home, their house where they live, is at stake. So he created a GoFundMe, and of course I wanted to help in any way that I can. So I'm going to share this with you guys. I'm putting it in the description, and I donated $250 to him. And I'm looking into how I can do more of this in the future, like within the upcoming days. Ever since we began talking, he's been nothing but a great friend to me, and he's a really reliable source for animation news, and he just wants to be able to support his family and keep doing what he loves all at the same time. So yeah, links to that in the description. I didn't want this review to just be like a recap and saying, oh, it was so good. I wanted to give an actual discussion. So in the comments down below, let me know what you guys saw of the episode. And I want to pose a very specific question. Do you think Navy was actually being legitimately happy, or was she faking it? Because when she did turn on the gems, she was still happy. Do you think everything she said in this episode about Earth and how she felt about the gems and everything holds some kind of validity, that she actually did like them? That she actually does like Earth? Because the first thing she said was, what a lovely planet, and hit the diamond. Yes, there was some deception there, but you think it was complete deception? Let's get a discussion going. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, it really helps us out. Follow us on social media, links to everything in the description down below. Awestruck Fox, signing out. This video has been powered by Patreon. If you want to give us some more support, head to patreon.com/roundtablevids, become a patron, and get some awesome perks. Thanks for watching another video on the Roundtable. If you want to get more involved with our community and watch videos from Let's Talk with Tom, Voxbox, and more, click the video right here. Or if you want to get some more of the animation goodness, watch some Crystal Clear or Meaning Monday, click the video right here. And please, don't forget to subscribe.